All right, listen to this. 11 Republican lawmakers are planning to introduce legislation today to revoke the federal charter of the National Education Association, which is the nation's largest teachers union. Congressman Mark Harris is one of the members heading that bill, and he's now accusing the NEA of abandoning its mission, saying, quote, from branding President Trump a fascist to embracing divisive gender ideology and walking away from efforts to fight anti-Semitism, the NEA has become nothing more than a partisan advocacy group. Moms for Liberty co-founder Tina Descovich joins me now. Tina, thank you so much for joining us. And we understand that you're going to be at a press conference with Congressman Harris later today to talk about this very topic. But before you do that, explain to us, practically speaking, what revoking the charter of this teachers union would do and why you think it should happen.
The National Education Association is the only union in the United States of America that has a federal charter. They've had that privilege since 1906, and we are very grateful to Congressman Harris for taking this stand today and filing this legislation. There is no reason that a teachers union that is embracing such radical ideologies and pushing them into our classrooms should have any access to federal, support from the federal government.
Yeah, and this push comes on the heels of reporting on this year's National Education Association meeting where the union reportedly approved, these are the bullet points that they wanted to achieve. They want to defend democracy against President Trump's embrace of fascism, oppose ICE student leader kidnappings, support students organizing against ICE, and they also say that they're supporting the No Kings protest. So that's what they're saying publicly. That's what their priorities are publicly. I see nothing in there about reading and math. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But shouldn't you then run for office as opposed to masquerading education as advocacy?
I need to remind the American people that only 1/3 of American fourth graders are reading proficiently in our country right now. And you can see why when you look at, this is the teaching profession. This is their annual conference. They come together, the largest teachers union. They don't vote on anything that has to do with education, and they haven't for quite some time. Moms for Liberty launched in 2021. We've been following them closely since then. And then years prior, they have voted to defund the police. They have the only time I've seen them vote on curriculum or something that had to do with education was when they voted to decolonize the curriculum. And so this isn't a one-time thing. This isn't just this year. They've decided to become radical. They've been doing this for a very long time. Parents are saying no more. We are not going to allow this in the American classrooms anymore. We want our children to learn to read and to write and to do math and learn science and become good civic citizens of this United States. And that is not going to happen as long as these radical teachers are the ones in the classroom. And we can't have the federal government supporting this type of behavior.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The nation's report card shows that children are struggling in math and reading proficiency. Fourth grade, 39%, eighth grade, 28% in math, and fourth grade in reading, a 31%, in eighth grade at a 30%. And when it comes to this teachers union meeting, Tina, there was one teacher who said, shouldn't we be focusing on education? And apparently somebody told her, we don't have time for that. We have to fight Trump. So clearly this is trickling down into the classroom. Would the solution be school choice? How do parents who are worried about this go about fighting back?
Parents have the fundamental right to direct the upbringing of their children. One of the other things the NEA voted on last week in their conference was to fight against the last month's SCOTUS ruling of Montgomery County, Maryland, where the Supreme Court reaffirmed again that parents have the right to opt out of the things that are going on in the classroom. And so we always support a parent's right to choose, whether it's opting out of curriculum, opting in to curriculum, opting out of schools, picking your own school, homeschooling, private schooling. Children are unique. They are individuals. They deserve to have the quality education that best fits them. And, the teachers union is just trying to defend this institution that's outdated, that they have single-handedly destroyed by completely neglecting things like phonics and focusing on what's being taught in the classroom and how it's being taught. Instead, they're focusing on things like President Trump. And we forgot to mention that in their resolution, they voted on saying they were going to call President Trump's policies all fascist policies. They actually misspelled fascism.
Yeah. I saw that as well. That was a good point to bring up. You're in Washington for a reason, hoping to pull this federal charter from the nation's largest teachers union. So we will be watching how all of this unfolds as the day progresses. Tina, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Carly.
You're very welcome.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.